especially now that we have a name.
Yeah.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Grace Unstitched, tearing the veil stitch by stitch.
Yeah.
I'm so happy and proud of that.
Me too.
Yeah. And shout out again to Joey.
Yeah.
All right. Well, here we are. This is this? I'm so confused. I need a pad and paper. Is this episode 9?
Was it 8 or 9? I think 8.
I think 8. I think you're right. Okay, episode 8. This is where we're at. Guys, we are not professional podcasters. One, professionals get paid for what they do, and 2, all this stuff costs money. So, we are definitely not professionals, and we are not as organized in this as we would love to be. We do have an editor that's doing up all of our video stuff for us, and we're so thankful for that and the blessing.
Yeah, because we don't have time for that.
I just don't have time. I'd literally pay for a program that would do all this work.
And we do not.
And we just don't have time. So I was thankful to find somebody that was totally willing to do this at a really, really good rate. So again, not professional because we're paying for that too. So maybe, I don't know, maybe if somebody wants to sponsor us. Whatever. All right. Well, I'm so happy to be here today. I really, really am. I'm happy to be up in the morning with my beautiful wife. It's about 6:30 or something in the morning, and we are having our coffee, and we wanted to have it with you guys. So we were just talking about it before the show started, and we always start our day in prayer. Tara dives deep into the Bible every single morning and studying and prayer, and sometimes I can't drag her out of it. It's super cool to watch. It really, really is. So we're going to start with prayer today. Jesus, 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 I thank you so much. Man, if the world could continue to watch and see where you're working and where you're growing us as people, and that you got your hand in the mix in certain people and certain places, you are lifting them up, and other people, you are shifting things around so that they have a path to move forward. And it's cool when you can sit back and see that, Lord. I thank you so much for all the work you do in each and every one of our lives. I pray that today's message and today's reason for the podcast is heard loud and clear and understood by the people that need to hear it to help build your kingdom. It's in your mighty name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right. So before we get started, I don't want to take up a ton of time, but have you seen all the different places where there's like celebrities that are really having these God encounters, and there's these huge moments where things are happening and you can just see this shining light of Jesus right in the middle of all this chaos? Have you been seeing those in like social media and stuff?
Yeah. Yeah, not just with celebrities, just like people posting their testimonies, especially on TikTok. But I know TikTok's got like the best algorithm, so I click like on one testimony and I'm going to see a whole bunch more, but it's what I want to see. It's
What your For You page should be about.
it is, honestly, and just our testimony is how people know what God is doing and that He's still working today.
So much.
Yeah.
So much. And which is the whole point of what's led us to do this podcast, is just to share our testimony.
Yeah.
And maybe you guys will hear something in what we've gone through and what God has used to sharpen us over here and sharpen us over here to be that be that sword that is just fighting and pushing and going and doing the things in the name of God.
And I'm just gonna say if, like, our story is not resonating with you, like, hold on a second, because 'cause we're gonna have more people too. We'll be adding more people here really soon and, also inviting people with different testimonies and different like, perspectives, but perspectives geared towards teaching.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. I'm super excited about that. And we've already got like in our heads, we have a list.
Oh, yeah.
If you hear this and we reach out to you, just say yes. Okay. Just say yes.
Yeah, just do it. It's fine.
It's 30 to 40 minutes of your life. Maybe you,
Maybe.
maybe you turn into 2 episode person, but nonetheless, we,
I don't know, I think Alan could go 4 or 5, but whatever.
for real, a row and Ira, like we have a whole list of people.
Oh, Ira and Casey, dude, I will, like, nerd.
Joseph, we got people in our family that I want to hear. I really, truly want you guys to get to hear our nephew Josh's testimony. So strong,
Yeah.
so strong, so cool, so crazy. Um, to just know, like knowing him and loving him, and then all the things that he's been through to get to where he is today and be the father and the man that he is. Super cool. Um, our niece, a man or his wife, not,
We say niece.
we say
She's our niece.
she's our
We've known her since she was 16. She's our niece.
she's our niece that's married to our nephew.
Not weird.
Not weird. No, don't make it weird. But no, so much of that. And if you guys hear this and you've got somebody that you're like, hey, their testimony is crazy strong, email us over at graceunsstitched@gmail.com. We'll put a link in the bio and just give us their name or contact information, put us in contact however you do it, and we'll be happy to see. I can pipe people in through a phone call, I can pipe people in through a video call, and we can make it happen, all right? So, let's get into today.
'Kay.
And by get into today, I mean, let's get into, a day a few months ago,
Pick up where we left off.
right? So, we talked about the night that you were like, "Hey, I think you need to be down here."
Yeah, Jailex had just got put into
I s
like, they just did I don't remember what they just coded him again for the second time and was like, "We need to move to the PICU," and
Yeah,
intubated him, and
I think that was the biggest thing, guys. When you intubate somebody, like, you're you're putting them into a deep rest, and there's a possibility of them not coming out of that. There's a possibility of neurological issues if they do come out of there's a lot of things, right?
the longer they stay intubated, then the harder it is for them to breathe on their
And
own.
recover.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was very nerve-wracking, and
But at the same time, like, he's gotta breathe. Like, breathing's kind of essential, so
he wasn't breathing
he
well at all. He was so swollen up, we talked ab
yeah, his stats were super low, and he wouldn't leave his oxygen tubes on, he was just ripping everything off of
yeah,
wouldn't let him help him.
yeah, and he just cognitively was not locked in with us at all,
Mhm.
especially you. So, Tara's sitting at the hospital, they move him to the PICU, ICU,
Yeah.
pediatric intensive care unit. Mm. And, he has to be intubated, which means they give him some night medicine, and then they shove tubes down. So, and when I tell you this dude had tubes on tubes with tubes attached to
Like
tubes,
Doc Ock, dude.
he had things in his arms, things in his legs, he had things in his chest, he had tubes down his throat, up his nose, and electro leads all over his body. Like, There was so much going
And there was
on.
so many, like, machines, like IV machines and monitors
They had,
stuff.
was it 8? Those are
Mhm.
8 IV machines alone.
Like, and each one had, like,
Each one had
3
3.
medications running through it, and
It was ridiculous.
they have their setup's kinda cool, though, like, they have the
Oh, the technology involved is
yeah, they have this sort of movable wall, and all the machines connect to it, and they can move it out and move it around as they need
for
to. It's kinda
emergency
cool.
things,
It's
like,
got oxygen and monitors, and you can put as many IV machines on there as you need
all the
to.
things, yep. So, well, let's talk about that because you see your kid, the child you raised, the gift that God gave you, laying there so puffed up that he can't even do that, like, can't move his arm more than a couple inches. Unless, of course, he's, like, trying to rip something out of his face, then all of a sudden he can move.
Right. His little hands were so fat.
Yeah, just
I
so
weigh little, his hands are huge, but they were so fat.
they're just so fat for sure and just super swollen up. Imagine just adding, like, 30 gallons of water to your body instantly head to toe. Um, you see that, and he's not talking.
Like, literally, he had gained, like, 30 pounds.
Yeah. So, he's not talking. He's on a monitor with a heart rate and a O2 oxygen levels that are super low, tubes all over in him. You know that he's relapsed from this cancer, and he's fighting. You're like, my son's fighting for his life,
Literally.
literally. And I talked about it last time. There was another child in the room right next to him,
That kinda looked like him.
looked just like him,
Mm.
just a little bit shorter, uh, and so swollen up and hair gone and like
Non-responsive.
super non-responsive, just laying there. And like we were right there the morning that that little girl passed away. She didn't make it, and she looked just like our kid.
Yeah.
And my heart broke so heavily for that mom, especially, but the dad that was there, you could see him trying to be the center and the pillar for his family in this moment, and he didn't know which direction to go.
Yeah.
He didn't know where to reach, things like that. And you feel the entire floor change because all those nurses, all those doctors knew that they just lost one.
Yeah.
And that's not why they're there. And they're there to fight and they're there to get you through. And the whole floor just changes. And you watch these nurses and these doctors that go, you could just see them down. And then they walk up to the door to come in, and you watch them go, hey, how's it going? And they come in with the best style that they possibly can.
Yeah.
And you feel that.
Mhm.
You cannot help but feel it. The entire floor, 80 beds, feels that.
Yeah. And I'm gonna say that's not just, like, I think that's on probably on any floor, but, like, for real
Yeah.
in pediatrics in general, because even just on the floor, like,
The
in
hematology floor.
yeah, but at previous hospitals, it was, like, everything. There wasn't, like, a oncology, hematology floor, it was just a pediatric floor,
Yeah.
and had mentioned before, like, I've watched nurses follow kids in on a gurney, and instead of the parents, it's the boys, or, whatever situation there may be, and they walk from this really terrible situation in one room, and then they come into our son's room, and they're like, "Liven these their legs, how's it going?" Or, laughing at one of the pranks that he did, or maybe having a little he's, like, pelting him with Nerf bullets as they walk through or whatever, you know what I mean? It's like it's amazing to watch, and I'm telling you, only people with a certain heart can do that.
So I know what I felt every time I came up to visit, and especially over like, it was like 3-day period where that family next to us got moved into the ICU, and their child was just sitting there, and you could just tell that things weren't going well, and our kid looks just like their kid.
Yeah.
And I think for so many, it could have very easily been, "Oh my gosh, that's what's going to happen to my child."
Yeah.
And I know we've talked about it, so I know that we didn't feel that. There was not a time that we were well, there wasn't a time that we were worried about that, right? Like, if that happened, my son's healed. He's no longer doing the things that are just laying in this bed and not living a life
Of course, I want him healed here.
but I want him healed. Yeah, I want him healed here, but if that is what happened, at least that little girl is healed. We understood that. Um, and we were praying for healing here on earth 100%. But when that happens and then you see your own kid and then you're out there by yourself and there's so much noise in that room, it never stops.
Oh my god. Yeah,
So,
it does not stop.
yeah. So, like, really in your mind and close your eyes, whatever you need to do, but can you take us, and I'm just gonna sit back and be quiet, um, can you take us to, like, that night that you called me up there and why you made the call? What feelings did you have that led to the call? How'd you feel once I got there? Spent the night, the next day? Like, as a mom that is so much dedicated to caring for this being that you created, that you carried for 9 months, and like, you've never stopped carrying this
Yeah,
kid.
so whenever I give you updates, right, I'm always, like, weighing, like, is this something that can wait till morning, or is this something that he needs to know right now? Is this something, you know, that I need to interrupt work for? Is this something that can wait until he gets off work
We
or
have a deal that
whatever?
I get updated. Like, she's gonna tell me before she puts it in the family chat. She's gonna tell me before it goes on Facebook or whatever, things like
Yeah,
that.
because you're not always there.
It's always there, and I'm the dad.
And what do I update you with? Text message, and what do I give you an update with a phone call, right? So I'm not gonna send you a text message for you to read first thing in the morning, like, "Hey, Jailex is intubated and he went to pick you." Like, not gonna happen. And then just, I don't know, like, I couldn't call in the moment either. Couldn't call and be like, "Not really." Couldn't call and be like, "Hey, I need you to come up here." Until after kinda they had him settled, like, the doctor was really relying on me to give the full report because I'm the one that knows his full medical history. I know exactly what's been happening minute by minute for the last couple of days leading up to this event, you know? Not all the nurses, like, the nurses could tell him what happened in the last couple of hours, but not even then, it was the charge nurse, she wasn't with him the entire time, you know? So, it was just kind of giving him an update, getting Jailex settled, and then I called you and was like, "Hey, he should probably come up here." Like, "He's okay, but I really think that you should come up here." And then whenever you got up there, it hit me, and I realized then I told you, like, "I think I just needed you to come up here. Like, I needed you to be here for me." Like, he's really good. He was in a good spot once they got him settled. He's
So
honestly
maybe
what
what we
really
call a good spot, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, yeah, and I know he was intubated, but he was breathing.
Innovated 18 to like, yeah, they got him breathing. O2 levels were coming
He was
back
calm.
up.
He wasn't trying to beat people up.
Yeah. So he was in a good spot for what he
Yep.
was going through. But so you felt like, man, I just needed my husband, or I just needed somebody, or
No, you
I mean,
specifically. Like, I just needed you to be there, kind of just be there with me, you know? And then you could have just not asked the last question, then I wouldn't be crying, no. And then,
sorry.
like, you stayed the night, and we slept on that little tiny couch. Like, y'all, this couch is tiny. I don't fit on it lengthwise. JJ sure don't fit on it. But we curled up on this little couch and just held each other and listened to the machines, listened to our son breathing all night, but in the PICU, like, you're never alone, never alone. That nurse that was on duty that first night, she's tiny, that's why I say little girl, but just didn't stop moving the whole night. She was in there, she was checking machines and restarting IVs and and hanging fluids and pain meds and everything that she needed to do. She was just like, there's a lot for her to do, and they have a little window with a computer, but they also have a computer in the room, and so you're just never alone. We just slept like that, and then
It is probably honestly for me, weirdly, is the best night of sleep. And it was probably like
that we had it like,
four, 4.5, maybe 5 hours of sleep.
yeah,
That was the best sleep I'd had in definitely a month.
yeah, yeah, because we were up at 6, and you got there, like, at whenever it was 30 or something. Yeah, and just we got up at 6 and started getting ready for doctors and whatever to come in, but they just I don't know. That's what it was, it's crazy because even at the time, I was like, "This is kinda scary, but not I don't feel scared." Like, I don't really feel scared. I was super peaceful, super calm, and I'm kinda good in a crisis anyways, but I normal like, before in a crisis, then I'd be, like, a little bit of elevated heart rate, like, kind of my mind racing and trying to get all my thoughts straight or whatever, and I just wasn't like that. I was just super calm and peaceful, and I wasn't feeling all the elevated body function stuff, and is but also recognizing that it's a scary situation and mostly just sad for my kid. Like, so sad for my kid. Just have to go through all of that, and he's never gotta be a kid, and now he's being intubated for the first time, and he's having this neurological thing not for the first time, and, like, they said blood clot, and, like, what if it moves because he's acting like a nut, you know? Like, he's, like, being so erratic, and what if the blood clot moves, and what if it goes into his heart, and what if it goes into his brain, but all that stuff wasn't, like, super forefront in my brain. It was there. I'm aware it's a risk, you know, but not super focused on it and not feeling anxious and not feeling scared, just mostly just sad for my kid that he has to go through all of this, that he's just, I don't know. And then that hospital stay, it was just one thing after another, after another, after another.
And that
No, it was literally every single day we were having something new pop up and something new to deal with and something like health-wise for him.
by all rights, he should have never walked out of that building.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? Like, just
I know they think he should still be there.
yeah, And not that we pulled him out early or
No.
anything. Like, they feel like he should still be there because the plan that they had, they're like, "This is gonna be so long term."
Yeah.
And then
Like, you're probably gonna be here for several months, like,
yeah. And then
we were there for a couple of months, but not several months, you know? Like, he yeah,
no, it's just the power of prayer.
yeah.
Like, it was so evident, like, very poignant prayer to exactly what we needed, and we had such discernment in what that prayer needed to be, and we had leadership and guidance from our pastors on, "Let's pray this." And they don't know. They've never been through the things that Jailex is going through, and they've never been through it as a parent, and they don't know these things, right? They've been through their own heartaches and their own trials, but they've never once been through what we were going through, and they said that. They're like, "I can't even imagine what you're feeling as a parent right now." And, we hit that point where we're like, my
Well,
my heart breaks, but again, I just did there wasn't fear involved in it. It's just, man, that's my son.
yeah. And the youth pastors too, like, the youth,
Yeah, all the pastors.
all like well, the youth pastor and then, like, the youth, like, leaders and stuff, like, they came to see him, and
Yeah, but
Smoothway was texting me, and she'd text me scripture and stuff, and
so after that night that I stayed, and then he was intubated for, was it a week?
no,
No, it was
there was a few
short of a
weeks,
week.
like, I'd say 3 to 5 days, I honestly don't remember, it was a blur, but during that time, he had a stent placed, he had chest tubes
Okay,
put in.
so let's back up to that. Your 14-year-old son is going to have a surgery to have a clot removed, a stent placed right above his heart.
And the doctor said, "We don't do stents on children."
Right? Like,
He's like,
I
"We
get
don't
like
do this, like, this is"
but that's not the most reassuring thing that somebody can say
yeah,
to you that's getting ready to go do the thing that they're saying they don't
yeah.
do.
Yeah, because they removed the blood clot one day, and then the next day there was another one, and they I don't know if it's another one, it's the same I'm assuming the another one because they removed it, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, they had the doctor come in, and I talked to 2 doctors, and the first doctor said, "I'm deferring to him because he's done this twice before for a child, but it's
That's
not
what we
common.
do.
We don't
Yeah.
do this." So, Jailex was like the 2nd or 3rd stent that this one doctor had put into a child.
Yeah, and never in the location that it was. He had
Yeah,
never
no,
done that in his
mm,
life. Uh,
no.
so what that mean would you so for me that, like, there was nerves, I was like, "Ugh, what wait, what do you mean?"
So I don't know. I feel like I have a pretty good ability of reading people, and I kinda always have. And then definitely with the Holy Spirit, I have a better, like, way of reading people, and I can talk to a doctor and see what's kinda ego and what's confidence, you know?
Sure.
And that doctor is just super confident. He was super confident, there wasn't ego involved, he answered all of my questions, he explained exactly what Jailex was gonna need, and exactly how the stent works, and
So God placed the right person in front of you
mhm,
for what was about to happen to your son, for what you needed for reassurance.
yeah.
The
Oh,
most
and
reassurance that you could get in that situation, not because you can't get 100%, so
yeah, and the first doctor, the one that removed the first clot, and the first doctor, he was like, "We're gonna do this, but I don't think this is what's going on." He's like, I don't think that's why he's swollen. I don't think that, like, I really don't think it's gonna help much." He's like, "So just so that you can be prepared. And I was like, okay. And his assistants were kind of like in the background and looking shocked and stuff. And I was like, well, I appreciate you like not beating around the bush. I am not a beat around the bush
And
person.
hospital at all.
Absolutely not. I need to know exactly what is going on. I want all of the information that you can possibly give me. If there's a doctor that is letting their ego get in the way, which is kind of easy to tell because if you're asking a question and they get offended, like you need to step away, sir, or ma'am, because your ego is gonna be in the way of treating my child. And that is not okay with me.
I'm not questioning your knowledge. I'm not questioning your ability. I'm asking questions about the situation. And if you're not willing to have that talk, because that leads to unsurety in my heart, or in my heart, but in my mind, it leads to a level of unsurety. Like, are you really the person for this? Is there somebody
I'm a
better?
data person. Like I need all of the data. I need to know all of the information so that I can make sure I'm making the right decision for our son.
So go. He goes in for the heart stent. You go to get coffee, and do whatever things you do to kind of decompress.
Went for a walk. I went for a walk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I needed to be outside.
Would you? So you needed to. What was the need to be outside?
Bro, there's a teeny tiny window in that room like this. And
What do you feel from that? From that?
I didn't want to leave him a lot, but at the same time, like I needed to be able to eat. I needed to be able to get coffee. I needed to be able to just
Decompress.
decompress, and know that like those nurses don't leave his side in Picky. They just don't leave his side. If they need a pee, there's somebody that comes and says over there. Yeah, they've got like, they call them like helper nurses or something, but they'll come and they just rotate through and let the nurses go that are assigned to that person. Like, go take your lunch break, whatever. And they get a full breakdown before the nurse leaves.
So you
So,
go and
yeah, super confident in their abilities. Yeah. And because remember, he's sedated. He doesn't have a call button. Like, he can't call for help. So I just had to be outside and take a walk. And I wasn't, I don't eat whenever I'm super stressed. So that wasn't really a full thing. I think I did go get an Uncrustable. 'Cause I really still Uncrustables. But take a walk just down the road. Just took a walk and
you did go down the road. I remember you talk because I was talking to you on the phone, and like you went down the road like blocks away from the hospital, which was super not what you would normally do. So, what did it feel like? You're on that walk. Can can you in your mind remember what your body felt every step you got further away from the hospital and what you were thinking?
I was just praying and like breathing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just, I just had to breathe. Cause sometimes in those rooms, like you just hold your breath. Or it feels like it, right? It feels like you're just holding your breath. But I just had to breathe and breathe not hospital air. Bro, the hospital smells a certain way. Like it smells a certain way. The air feels a
The
certain
air
way.
tastes a certain way.
The air tastes a certain way. Jailex will tell you too. He's like, it tastes like hospital in here. Just it's and the PQ, like there's kids everywhere. And there's some kids are behind a curtain and some kids are behind glass and
Some kids are in sealed
they're
rooms like Jailex was.
yeah, well, behind the glass, yeah, and there's beeping everywhere and it's like quiet but not quiet. Like, there's not a lot of chatter going on. People are not like, you can't be on your phone in there. You can't have your phone ringing. You know, the nurses talk in a very, like, hushed tone. The doctors talk in a hushed tone. But at the same time, like, there's people moving everywhere, and I get overstimulated kinda easy. Like, there's a lot of the beeping because, like I said, there's, like, 8 machines in his room alone, and so there's a lot of beeping and the blood pressure cuff and
So the
the
sounds of the
well,
city on the walk were actually more calming because the
more like, 'cause of
location
downtown Fort Worth.
down yeah, it's just right on the verge of downtown Fort Worth.
Yeah.
So the sounds of the city, the freeway that's right there,
They were right off
like
the interstate,
yeah,
yeah.
like all of that was a different sound and a calming effect
Yeah.
for you. That's crazy. Like it's crazy to think about.
If you go watch some of my videos on Facebook, right, and I get super distracted, I'm like, "Oh, the birds. Well, there's a cat." Like, and I'm a believer, I love nature.
Yeah.
I love nature. That's one that I sit outside all the time at home, and it's because I can hear the birds and I can hear the winds in the trees,
Even
or
though we live on a busy street.
even though we live on a busy street, I'm like, my brain naturally, like, focuses towards nature, and so there was a place across the road that had trees, and I would go sit over there and just listen to the birds chirp and watch the squirrels play. They need to have a park close by.
I think that house that's right there in the middle with that gorgeous yard.
Oh, well, oh, no, I lost
Did you unplug yourself?
maybe. Yeah, okay, we're back, sorry. I'm like, "Oh, no, I lost the can't hear you." But, yeah, that would be a good just a park that
Like they
it
have
just
kid parks, okay, guys? Like it's a children's hospital, but there needs to be some level of
get away
adult
from the
calmness for the parents. Yeah, that's huge. Maybe we need to bring that up and make it a forefront thing. But
and off the hospital grounds, honestly, like, just across the street or something, there's a park
make it let
right
it
over
feel
it.
like it's separate.
Yeah,
But
but
uh,
anyway, like, it just is very overstimulating, and it's I don't know, it's surreal, and it's sad to, like, watch the other families and stuff like that, so there's just a lot the emotions are overstimulating.
yeah, we're real. All right. Well, let's as our pastor says, let's land this plane a little bit. Um Thank you for sharing about like what you were feeling. Just in that was a 3-day, 3 to 5 day time frame
I
that
think it's
just
3 days, yeah.
I think it was 3 days that we just talked about, right? And the emotional wave that happens when you go from things are done okay, your kid's here, and then all of a sudden there's a plummet in your kid, and then all of a sudden there's a mad rush around your kid, and then
Gosh,
there's
there was, like, 8 or 9 nurses in there,
yeah,
and a couple of
doctors,
doctors.
yeah, and all the doctors from the like, there's a palliative care doctor, there's a hematology doctor, there's an oncology doctor, there you know what I mean? Like, there's all these
Infectious
infectious
diseases,
diseases and things like that, there's all these different doctors that come in, and
teams,
it gets to
teams
be
of
so
doctors.
yeah, gets to be so much, but thank you for sharing
And
that
then Jailex
with me
started
so
waking up.
much, and Jailex started waking up.
Well,
Well, you know what? Let's
next,
talk about that.
yeah.
Alright, thank you guys for listening, and jump into the next episode to hear about Jailex waking up.